So my quizzes look very much what I review with you. I don't throw surprises in. I prepare you. I want you to be comfortable when you go to take that quiz. I know sometimes, teachers will not necessarily follow the format that you see, but I like to not throw you any curveballs. So quiz one review here. The quiz just has 5 questions and it follows the same format. Let's take a look at our first one. It says if delta y is equal to 2 times delta x, what is the constant rate of change? So what you want to know for problem number 1 on the quiz is that the constant rate of change is just the slope, which is delta y over delta x. So if we see that delta y is 2 times delta x, all we need to do is get the delta x under the delta y, and we got it. So really, it's going to end up being the coefficient that was attached to the delta x to begin with. So our answer is 2. That's it. I noticed on iMath that some of you were trying to make this more difficult than it needed to be. This gives you the slope instant by just looking at it. It's always going to be the coefficient attached to your delta x. But it also gives you a nice way, if you know the change in x, you can find the change in y very quickly. Okay? So number 1 on the quiz, I hope, is very, very quick. Again, remember, that's just a fancy way of rewriting the slope. Number 2 on the quiz tomorrow says if the point on the graph is 2, -3, what is the formula for the linear function or the equation of the line? So what do we know? We know that the slope we found earlier was 2. The point we found was 2, -3. If you know the formula y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, then you know how to find the equation of the line. So on iMath, I noticed they called it the formula for the equation, the formula for the line, the formula for this relationship, stuff like they use the word formula more than they used equation, but that's just what an equation is, a formula relating, in this case, y in terms of x. Let's plop these things into our equation, our point slope formula. So we're going to get y plus 3, see how that negative will change sign. We've seen that even in the distance formula as well. Equals our slope times x minus our x value. Now, I'm okay if you leave it here, but I know iMath likes you to solve it explicitly for y. So let's make it say y equals, and you do the same thing pretty much every time. Distribute the slope. So we get y plus 3 equals 2x minus 4. And then subtract 3 from both sides, whatever that thing has to move over. And so we get a final answer of y equals 2x minus 7. Now, how could you check that this is correct? Well, you better have the slope you found in number 1 in that spot. If I plug in the point 2 for x, I better get -3 for y. So you can check the work very quickly. Do we have any questions about 1 or 2? Okay, let's move on to 3. Using what we've seen in problems 1 and 2, what is delta x when x is 2 and x1 is 2 and x2 is 4? So remember, delta x is just the change in x, so it is ending minus beginning, x2 minus x1. So just plop them in. x2 is 4, x1 is 2, 4 minus 2 is 2. We have changed by 2. And then number 4 says, using what we found in number 3, what is the change in y or delta y during this interval? Well, we have a formula. I gave it to you in problem number 1. It said that delta y was 2 times delta x. So if you found that delta x was 2, delta y is just 2 times 2, or 4. So if the x changes by 2, the y has to change by double that amount, or 4. The way that you can check your work for this particular problem, delta y divided by delta x should always be your slope. What is 4 divided by 2? 2. What is the slope we found earlier? 2. All this information should go together. Okay. Any questions about 3 or 4? Finally, we move on to number 5. Using the information from 1 through 4, what is the value of y when x is 5? In problem number 2, we found a formula, the equation of the line, y equals 2x minus 7. That allows us to find any y value given a certain x value. That's what that formula does. It lets us find the point. So all we got to do is plug in 5. We found the formula, plug it in. So we get y equals 10, 2 times 5 is 10, minus 7, or 3. That's the quiz. It's going to follow that same format. I will post this so that you can study. The best way to do math is to repeat it. So my suggestion was pull a blank copy of this up. Do it without looking. Can you repeat what I did? If you can't, you don't know it. Watch the video, do it again. Then pull up a blank copy. Can I do it again without looking? Can you repeat the process? iMath had quite a few questions like this. You can go back and look at the iMath questions. So the only thing we're doing tomorrow is this very quick 5-question quiz. Please use the rest of your time now to work on iMath. Please, if you have any questions about this, or you're welcome to see me at lunch. I can help you, okay? So please turn this in at this time. I will post this video as soon as I can, okay?